Hi everyone, it's day 4 of the vlog. I'm Nick Bradley, accountant, business owner, aspiring entrepreneur. Website I'm trying to get up and running is HabitDrivenWealth, because I firmly believe that if you create the right habits in your life and do the right things and keep undertaking growth, personal and professional growth, you can achieve greatness and provide value in the world, which will drive some wealth at the end. Well, not at the end, but you know what I mean, along the journey. So today I just thought I'd take a step backwards in time because I'm just talking about my journey from sort of anxiety and depression where I was about 3 years ago. But I thought I'd take it back about another, 5 to 8 years, maybe even 10 years, where my life was not going so great. I was drinking a lot. And it culminated in a great night with my friends, but I ended up just going out on my own to town and ended up getting knocked out by a bouncer and arrested, and spent the night in the drunk tank or in the cells in my city. And that was really a catalyst to change my life. What really changed my life was podcasts. So, which is ironic, I guess, if I'm trying to start something like that now. So I was with podcasts from the beginning. I was a Russell Brand with ABC or BBC 4, I think it was. He had one of the original podcasts, and it was funny. It was the different Russell Brand to what you see today. He was obviously back then not being the best person either in the world, and you just have to look at his change in the way he lives his life. He was an addict and doing lots of terrible things that have been in the media, or perceived to be terrible things. I'm not defending him at all. And so that led me to, it introduced me to podcasting, a new form of medium, and then there was a couple others, but then I managed to stumble across Joe Rogan. Now, Joe Rogan is a polarizing figure. I think he's fantastic. He opened my world up to the real truths around what's going on in the world, things that I hadn't even imagined or thought about. But he had people on the podcast that were true intellectuals. Probably like most people, I thought the UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship, was just a bunch of meatheads bashing each other. But as he introduced those personalities into my world, I realized that, hey, these guys are seriously smart. They know what they're doing. Just that alone opened my world up, because obviously what we were sort of told by the mainstream wasn't always true. And you got a real taste of that with Joe Rogan. So I've been with him from the beginning. I don't listen to it as much now because I'm a lot more into personal growth and all that, but I have listened to the last couple, which is about politics in America, the presidential candidate and his vice president, who the vice president, if you want to watch someone really intelligent and normal, tune into JD Vance. It's fantastic. So the podcast journey led me to get fit. It actually led me to my wife, because I started getting fit. I started believing myself. I had a real life-changing experience. I would exercise. He led me to some great exercises. Led me to Tim Ferriss, who's the author of the 4-Hour Body and the 4-Hour Work Week, which were just fantastic books. And that was my biggest probably change in my health life back then. Things then degraded significantly after I had kids. We've got 3 kids, so life is stressful. Stress got on top of me. We weren't doing the right thing. Well, I wasn't doing the right thing in my life. The business was just getting stagnant. We weren't really excelling. We weren't really pushing ourselves to be our best. But Joe Rogan was probably one of the biggest catalysts for change in my life and just opening me up to the world. So I just wanted to also talk about depression, anxiety, what that meant for me. So with the anxiety, sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I would just have looping thoughts. Even during the day, I'd have looping thoughts where you just catastrophize. You think the worst thing's going to happen. you just have terrible thoughts. So I'd wake up, I'd medicate myself, for want of a better term. I would then fall asleep on the lounge or in the chair, watching nine mind-numbing YouTube or Netflix, and watching terrible things on Netflix. Like the one I had to turn off was that serial killer one. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I was watching it. I was about 2 or 3 episodes in, and I'm thinking, this is terrible for my brain. So what I would have to do was I'd wake up in the middle of the night, say at 2 or 3 o'clock. I'd catastrophize about things at work, about things in my life. I'd just think the worst thing, and I'd loop it over and over and over to the point where I just couldn't get to sleep. So then I'd have to put my earphones in and distract my brain from these thoughts to get back to sleep. And the reason I bring that up is because Mind Valley, which I've mentioned, had meditations and had calming things on it rather than the terrible things that we get pushed onto us through Netflix and possibly even YouTube, depending on what you're watching and what the algorithm throws up. So that'll be enough for today. I'm at my probably 6 minutes now, so I'll talk a bit more tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Have a great time wherever you are.